Cursed places are anomalous zones with inexplicable phenomena that attract researchers, tourists, and scientists. They share three key characteristics: regular strange occurrences such as disappearances, time anomalies and visions, numerous historical accounts and documented evidence, the absence of a unified scientific explanation despite extensive research. These locations become battlegrounds where science and the supernatural collide. Scientists seek rational explanations, geomagnetic fields, or infrasound, while tourists chase thrills and paranormal investigators search for proof of the otherworldly. It is precisely this combination of documented facts with unsolved mysteries that creates their ominous reputation. The Bermuda Triangle. Located in the western part of the Atlantic Ocean between Miami, the Bermuda Islands, and Puerto Rico, the Bermuda Triangle has remained one of the planet's most mysterious anomalous zones for over a century. This area of the ocean, estimated to cover approximately 1.3 million square kilometers, has become synonymous with unexplained disappearances of ships, aircraft, and people. The main feature of the Bermuda Triangle is sudden and inexplicable disappearances. Vessels and planes vanish without a trace, leaving only questions behind. Often before disappearing, strange anomalies are observed: failures of navigation instruments, distortion of radio signals, and abrupt changes in weather conditions. Yet search and rescue operations rarely yield results. Wreckage or bodies are usually never found. Another mystery is the behavior of equipment. Compasses begin spinning chaotically, electronics shut down, and aircraft or ship engines stall without apparent cause. Pilots and sailors who survived passing through this zone report sudden dense fogs inconsistent with forecasts and strange glowing spheres in the sky. One of the most notorious incidents is the disappearance of Flight 19 in December 1945. 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers with experienced pilots aboard took off on a training mission and vanished without a trace. The final communications indicated that the crews had become disoriented and their compasses had failed. A search plane sent to locate them also disappeared. Another famous case is the mysterious discovery of the ship Mary Celeste in 1872. The vessel was found adrift with no crew. Though the cargo and personal belongings remained untouched, there were no signs of struggle or entries in the ship's log explaining the crew's disappearance. The list continues. The cargo ship Cyclops 1918 vanished with 306 people aboard. No distress signals were sent. The aircraft Star Tiger 1948 disappeared en route to Bermuda. No wreckage was found. The passenger liner Sudufco 1950 vanished with 57 passengers. The last radio transmission was strangely distorted. For decades, scientists have attempted to unravel the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, proposing various hypotheses. First hypothesis: gas hydrates. Large deposits of methane hydrates have been discovered on the ocean floor in this area. Theoretically, a sudden gas release could reduce water density, causing ships to lose buoyancy and sink. Additionally, methane in the air could trigger explosions and disrupt engine operations. Second hypothesis: magnetic anomalies. Deviations in the magnetic field have been recorded in this zone which may affect compasses and electronics. Some researchers suggest the presence of areas with unusual geomagnetic activity. Third hypothesis: ocean currents and weather. The Bermuda Triangle lies within strong currents, the Gulf Stream, and frequent storms. Sudden squalls, waterspouts, and rogue waves up to 30 meters high can sink vessels within minutes. Fourth hypothesis: human error. Some disappearances can be attributed to crew mistakes, technical failures, or piracy. However, this does not explain cases where ships and planes vanished in calm weather with no apparent cause for disaster. Where science cannot yet provide definitive answers, legends emerge, portals to other dimensions. Some believe the Bermuda Triangle contained gates to parallel worlds or different time periods. This would explain the absence of wreckage. Technology allegedly does not break apart but is transported elsewhere. Alien activity. UFO enthusiasts claim the anomalies are caused by extraterrestrial craft hidden in the ocean depths, abducting people and technology for research. Atlantis and ancient artifacts. One theory suggests the lost city of Atlantis lies at the bottom of the triangle, its energy crystals disrupting instruments. Black holes and time anomalies. Some theorists propose that microscopic black holes or space-time distortions occur here. Why does the mystery remain unsolved? Despite numerous theories, none fully explain all incidents. The cause may lie in a combination of natural factors not yet fully understood, or humanity may have encountered phenomena beyond current scientific comprehension. The Bermuda Triangle continues to attract researchers, adventurers, and skeptics alike. Some seek answers, others seek thrills, and some seek fame. Yet this zone remains a symbol of the unexplained, reminding us that the world still holds many mysteries waiting to be uncovered. The Valley of Death in Kamchatka. Amidst the harsh and majestic landscapes of Kamchatka, among active volcanoes and geysers, lies a place that locals prefer to avoid. The Valley of Death, located at the foot of the Kikpinik volcano in the Kronotsky Nature Reserve, is an anomalous zone where animals regularly perish and humans experience strange and dangerous symptoms. This place long remained a mystery even to scientists, with the first reliable accounts only emerging in the mid-25th century from hunters and geologists who stumbled upon this deadly territory by chance. The main feature of the Valley of Death is its ability to kill all living things that enter its bounds. Animals that wander into this zone die within hours, sometimes even minutes. Foxes, bears, birds, and small rodents are the most common victims. Their bodies are found in unnatural poses with signs of sudden asphyxiation. Notably, scavengers avoid these carcasses, as if sensing the danger emanating from them. Humans who enter the valley quickly begin experiencing dizziness, weakness, sharp headaches, and soon lose consciousness. Those who fail to leave in time perish. The first scientific studies of the Valley of Death began in 1975 when volcanologist V.L. Leonov organized a special expedition. Researchers discovered that the concentration of toxic gases here exceeds lethal norms by dozens of times. Summer proved especially dangerous as poisonous fumes became most active under the sun's heat. During these studies, 2 expedition members died, confirming the valley's deadly nature. After this incident, the area was officially closed to unrestricted access. The primary scientific explanation attributes the valley's phenomenon to volcanic activity. Numerous fissures in the ground release deadly gases, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. High concentrations of hydrogen sulfide paralyze the respiratory center, while carbon dioxide creates a gas cushion effect, accumulating near the ground and displacing oxygen. The unique topography forms natural depressions where toxic substances stagnate, creating invisible death zones. In summer, when the ground warms, gas emissions intensify, while winter snow cover partially blocks their release, slightly reducing the danger. However, science cannot fully explain all the peculiarities of this place. Indigenous Kamchatka peoples have long considered the Valley of Death cursed. According to their beliefs, evil spirits inhabit the area, punishing those who dare violate the taboo and enter the forbidden territory. Legends tell of entire groups of people who disappeared in the valley without a trace. Some hunters report strange visions and voices heard when approaching the danger zone. Interestingly, the Valley of Death is not unique. Similar death zones exist in other volcanic regions worldwide. For example, Iceland has several valleys with comparable properties, and Africa's area near Mount Nyiragongo also records sudden deaths of animals and humans from gas emissions. Yet Kamchatka's Valley of Death remains one of the most mysterious and least studied. Today, this territory is strictly monitored by scientists and protected as part of the Kronotsky Reserve. Access is limited, and all research follows stringent safety protocols. Nevertheless, the Valley of Death continues to attract both scientists and mystery enthusiasts. For some, it's a natural laboratory for studying volcanic gas effects on living organisms. For others, it's where science encounters phenomena not yet fully explained. Recent years have seen new hypotheses attempting to explain the valley's nature. Some researchers suggest special geomagnetic anomalies here that, combined with toxic gases, create uniquely lethal conditions. Others propose microorganisms releasing additional toxins may play a role. However, none of these theories have yet gained sufficient evidence. Kamchatka's Valley of Death remains one of Russia's most enigmatic places. It reminds us that nature can be both breathtakingly beautiful and deadly dangerous, and that even in the 21st century, phenomena exist that science cannot completely explain. This place continues to captivate researchers and visitors' imaginations, standing as both a scientific study site and a source of mystical legends. Perhaps someday scientists will fully unravel the valley's secrets, but for now it remains a grim reminder that many world mysteries still await solutions. Until then, it stays a forbidden zone better left unexplored without urgent need, for the price of such curiosity may prove too high. The mystery of Roopkund Lake, the ice tomb of the Himalayas. At an altitude of 5,000 meters amidst the eternal snows of the Himalayas, lies one of the most mysterious places on the planet, Roopkund Lake, better known as Skeleton Lake. This small body of water, about 40 meters in diameter, remains frozen for 9 months of the year. But when the ice melts, a terrifying sight is revealed. The lakebed is strewn with human skeletons. The first official mention of the lake dates back to 1942, when a British forest ranger accidentally stumbled upon this place. However, local inhabitants had known about the existence of the Skeleton Lake long before, passing down frightening legends through generations. The most common of these tells of a group of pilgrims who violated the prohibition of the goddess Nanda Devi and paid cruelly for it. Scientific research began only in the 1950s. Initially, anthropologists assumed the skeletons belonged to Japanese soldiers who perished during World War II. However, radiocarbon dating showed the remains to be about 1,200 years old, dating back to the 9th century CE. A remarkable feature of these skeletons is their astonishing preservation. Thanks to the constant cold and the unique high-altitude climate, many bones retain fragments of soft tissue, hair, and even clothing. This has allowed detailed anthropological and genetic studies, which have yielded sensational results. DNA analysis revealed that the deceased belonged to 2 distinct groups. The first, local inhabitants, likely pilgrims or guides. The second group proved genetically close to modern inhabitants of the Mediterranean, particularly Greeks from the island of Crete. This discovery raised new questions for scientists. What brought Mediterranean people to such remote and inaccessible regions of the Himalayas? Characteristic cracks and indentations of identical shape have been found on many skulls. Researchers from India's National Institute of Oceanography proposed the hypothesis that the people died from blows of large hailstones. Computer modeling confirmed that the rounded damage on the skulls could indeed have been caused by hailstones about 7 centimeters in diameter. In high-altitude regions, such hailstorms do occur, and the lack of shelter makes them deadly. Yet this theory does not explain all the mysteries of Skeleton Lake. Why were people from such distant regions among the dead? What compelled them to ascend to such heights? Why were their bodies not buried? These questions remain unanswered. In 2019, new research findings added further puzzles. It turned out the skeletons belonged not to 1 but 3 genetically distinct groups who died at different times. Some indeed date to the 9th century, but others are from the 19th century. This discovery cast doubt on the theory of a single catastrophic event. Local people believe the lake is cursed. According to legend, King Jasdewal of Kannauj embarked on a pilgrimage to the sacred lake, Nanda Devi, with his pregnant wife and a large entourage that included dancing girls. When the goddess saw this disrespectful procession, she grew angry and unleashed upon them a deadly hailstorm hard as iron. Today, Roopkund Lake has become a pilgrimage site not only for scientists but also for tourists. Every year, hundreds of adventurers undertake the difficult mountain trek to witness the eerie sight: human bones lying on the bottom of the crystal-clear mountain lake. When the ice melts, the skeletons become particularly visible, creating a surreal panorama. Scientists continue to study this mystery using modern technology. In recent years, new artifacts have been discovered: jewelry, arrowheads, leather sandals that may shed light on the origins of the deceased. Of particular interest is an iron spearhead found in 2003, which may indicate a military conflict. Roopkund Lake remains one of the most striking archaeological enigmas of modern times. It is a place where science meets legend and facts collide with myths. Perhaps new research will finally unravel the mystery of Skeleton Lake, but for now it continues to guard its secrets in the icy waters of the Himalayas. Mysteries of Hoia-Baciu Forest, Romania's anomalous zone. In the very heart of Transylvania, just a few kilometers from the city of Cluj-Napoca, lies one of Europe's most mysterious woodlands, Hoia-Baciu Forest. This 300-hectare beech forest has been puzzling researchers of paranormal phenomena, scientists, and ordinary tourists for over half a century. Local residents avoid the area, while those who dare enter often report strange experiences and unexplained occurrences. The forest takes its name from shepherd Hoia, who, according to local legend, disappeared here along with his flock of sheep in the 18th century. Since then, the forest has gained an ominous reputation. In the 1960s, biologist Alexandru Sift began systematically studying the area's anomalies, drawing attention from both the scientific community and ufologists. One of Hoia-Baciu's most famous characteristics is the frequent malfunction of electronic devices. Visitors report cameras, video equipment, compasses, and even watches failing or behaving erratically. Curiously, though, professional equipment brought by scientific expeditions typically functions normally, suggesting possible psychosomatic effects or mass suggestion. Many visitors complain of physical discomfort, headaches, nausea, feelings of anxiety, or unexplained fear. Some describe sudden sensations of invisible presence or unidentifiable sounds. In rare cases, memory lapses have been reported by those spending extended time in the forest. Hoia-Baciu gained particular fame through numerous reports of unusual light phenomena. Dozens of witnesses describe mysterious lights floating among trees or hovering over clearings, most commonly greenish or bluish spheres appearing and disappearing without visible cause. Some UFO researchers believe these could be manifestations of extraterrestrial activity. The most enigmatic area is the so-called clearing mix, a perfectly circular 50-meter diameter space where grass grows in unnaturally even patterns. This is where most unexplained phenomena occur, and where the strangest photographs are taken. Many images captured here show luminous orbs, misty figures, or blurred silhouettes not visible during shooting. Multiple scientific studies have failed to provide definitive explanations for Hoia-Baciu's phenomena. Geologists detected minor magnetic anomalies, but insufficient to account for all reported occurrences. Psychologists favor theories of mass suggestion and placebo effects amplified by local legends. More mystically inclined researchers propose bolder hypotheses. Some believe the forest serves as a dimensional portal or cosmic signal receiver. Others suggest ancient ritual grounds might influence visitors through residual energy. Recent theories speculate about underground cavities or unknown geological formations causing the observed effects. Interestingly, despite its sinister reputation, Hoia-Baciu has become a popular tourist attraction. Hundreds of paranormal enthusiasts visit annually, with local authorities establishing marked trails and informational displays about the forest's history and mysteries. Skeptics note most anomalous photos can be explained by optical illusions, light play, or technical glitches. Visitor discomfort may stem from natural gas emissions or microclimate factors. Yet Hoia-Baciu remains one of Europe's most intriguing anomalous zones. Its secrets remain unsolved, with each new visitor potentially witnessing something inexplicable. While future research may illuminate these phenomena, for now this Transylvanian enclave maintains its enigmatic allure for all fascinated by our world's unexplained mysteries. The Island of the Dolls, a creepy kingdom of toys in Mexico. Hidden in the quiet canals of Xochimilco, just a few kilometers from bustling Mexico City, lies one of the creepiest places on Earth, the Island of the Dolls. Hundreds of weathered toys hanging from trees and wires greet visitors with hollow eyes and twisted smiles. This is a place where children's playthings have transformed into symbols of something sinister, where the boundary between reality and fantasy grows thinner with every step along the island's narrow paths. The history of this place begins with one man, Don Julian Santana Barrera, who settled here as a hermit in the 1950s. According to his account, he witnessed a tragedy. A little girl drowned in these waters. Shortly after, he found a doll floating in the canal and took it as a sign. Santana began hanging dolls in the trees to appease the spirit of the deceased girl. For the next 50 years, he devoted his life to collecting toys he found in dumps or received from neighbors. Over time, the island turned into an eerie open-air museum. Dolls hang everywhere, from tree branches nailed to hut walls dangling from wires. Many are incomplete, missing arms, legs, or heads. Rain, sun, and wind have done their work. Paint has peeled, hair has faded, and plastic faces have cracked, creating the impression that the dolls are grimacing. Some toys are dressed in rags, others completely naked, only intensifying the unsettling atmosphere. Santana claimed the dolls came alive at night. He heard them whispering to each other, moving their limbs, even opening their eyes. Locals said the hermit spoke to the dolls as if they were living beings, believing they protected him from evil spirits. In 2001, Don Julian's life ended tragically. He was found drowned in the very canal where, by his own account, the girl had perished. After Santana's death, the island became a pilgrimage site for tourists and paranormal investigators. Many visitors report strange sensations, the dolls seeming to watch them with their eyes, whispering inaudible words, or even changing positions when no one is looking. Photographers often notice strange glows and halos around the dolls in their pictures that weren't visible during shooting. Some guests complain of sudden panic attacks, headaches, or the feeling of an invisible hand touching their shoulder. No scientific explanation for these phenomena has been found yet. Psychologists suggest the creepy atmosphere and visitors' prior knowledge of the island's legends create a self-suggestion effect. Studies have recorded no abnormal changes in magnetic fields or other physical parameters. Skeptics note that the dolls' movements can be explained by wind or natural material decay, while the whispers could be sounds from water and vegetation. Yet the island's mystical reputation only grows stronger. Locals believe Don Julian's spirit still dwells among his dolls, continuing to add new specimens to the collection. Some claim to have seen his ghost hanging toys on moonlit nights. On Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead, whole families come here to honor the hermit's memory and leave new dolls as gifts for the girl's spirit. Today, Santana's nephew maintains the island, preserving its atmosphere while making it safer for tourists. Some dolls, completely destroyed by time, are replaced with new ones, but most remain in their original and creepy state. The Island of the Dolls has become a peculiar monument to human fear and belief in the supernatural. It's a place where toys made for children's play have turned into symbols of something inexplicable. For some, it's just an unusual attraction. For others, it's a portal to a world where dead dolls may be more alive than they seem. Every year, thousands of visitors come here on traditional Trajinera boats to see this eerie kingdom of toys with their own eyes. Some leave disappointed, others deeply frightened, but no one remains indifferent to this place where childhood and death intertwine in a bizarre dance of plastic dolls swaying in the wind. The Island of the Dolls in Xochimilco remains one of Mexico's most controversial landmarks. It's a place where real events have merged with legends, creating a unique atmosphere that continues to attract, frighten, and make people ponder the thin line between the worlds of the living and the dead. between play and something far more serious. The riddle of Easter Island and the mysterious Moai. In the vast expanses of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of kilometers from the nearest inhabited land, lies a small patch of Earth, preserving one of the greatest mysteries of human civilization. Easter Island, or Rapa Nui as the locals call it, is known worldwide for its giant stone statues, the Moai. These enigmatic figures scattered across the island have puzzled researchers, archaeologists, and mystery enthusiasts for centuries. The Moai are monolithic stone carvings standing between 3 and 10 meters tall, with some reaching up to 20 meters. Individual statues weigh over 80 tons. In total, there are about 900 of these sculptures on the island, carved from volcanic tuff. Most Moai are placed on stone platforms along the coast, and curiously, nearly all of them face an inland rather than toward the ocean. The only exception is a group of 7 statues at the sacred site of Hoia-Baciu, which gaze out to sea. The central question that has haunted scientists for centuries is, how did the ancient islanders, without modern technology, manage to carve, transport, and erect these colossal statues? The quarry where the Moai were carved is located in the Rano Raku volcano crater, while some Ahu are as far as 20 kilometers away. European explorers of the 18th century, upon first seeing these statues, could not believe they were created by a primitive culture. Modern archaeologists have proposed several theories to explain how the Moai were moved. The most convincing hypothesis suggests that the statues walked across the island using a system of ropes. Experiments have shown that a group of 15-20 people rocking a statue correctly can indeed make it move in an upright position. Other researchers believe the Moai were transported horizontally on wooden sledges or rollers. However, all these methods would have required vast amounts of timber, leading us to another of the island's mysteries. Rapa Nui was once covered in dense palm forests, but by the time Europeans arrived, the island was almost entirely treeless. Scientists attribute this to an ecological catastrophe caused by human activity. Trees were cut down for building homes, canoes, transporting statues, and possibly for ritual purposes. The disappearance of the forests led to soil erosion, declining harvests, and ultimately the collapse of the civilization. Easter Island's culture reached its peak between the 10th and 16th centuries before declining. By the time Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen discovered the island in 1722, the locals no longer remembered the exact purpose of the Moai. Europeans encountered a society in deep crisis, clan warfare, cannibalism, and the loss of many technologies. Mystical theories surrounding Easter Island are no less intriguing than scientific explanations. Some researchers suggest a connection between the Moai and the legendary civilizations of Atlantis or Lemuria. Others see the giant statues as evidence of extraterrestrial visits. Particular attention is drawn to the unusual facial features of some statues: elongated earlobes, strain hats made of red stone which can weigh up to 12 tons. One of the most fascinating riddles is why nearly all Moai face inland. Archaeologists speculate that they represented deified ancestors meant to watch over the living and protect them. Interestingly, many statues had eyes made of white coral and red volcanic slag. When inserted into the sockets, it gave the impression that the idol had come to life. Today, Easter Island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and attracts thousands of tourists. Modern Rapa Nui people, descendants of the ancient craftsmen, carefully preserve their culture, though many traditions and knowledge have been lost forever. Scientists continue their research using new technologies: laser scanning, DNA analysis, and ground-penetrating radar. Easter Island remains a symbol of human ingenuity and at the same time a warning of how fragile the balance between humanity and nature can be. The Moai, these silent sentinels of the past, continue to stand on the shore, gazing inland, guarding their secrets. Perhaps one day we will fully unravel the mystery of their creation, but for now, Easter Island remains one of the most enigmatic places on Earth, where every new discovery raises more questions than answers. The mystery of the Moai is not just about how stone giants were moved. It is the story of an entire civilization that created something monumental but failed to preserve itself. Easter Island reminds us that even the most advanced cultures can vanish if the delicate balance with the natural world is disrupted. The silent stone colossi continue to stand on their platforms, as if warning future generations of this truth. The Sedlec Ossuary, a macabre masterpiece of human remains. In a quiet suburb of the Czech town of Kutná Hora lies one of Europe's most unusual and chilling places, the Sedlec Ossuary. This small Gothic chapel, with its unremarkable facade, conceals something inside that makes even the most steadfast visitors shudder. Upon entering, one finds themselves in a space where death has been transformed into art. Every decoration in the chapel is made of human bones. The history of this place dates back to the 13th century when Abbot Henry brought soil from Golgotha and scattered it over the monastery cemetery. This made Sedlec Cemetery an extremely sought-after burial site. People from all over Central Europe wanted to rest here. Over several centuries, the remains of tens of thousands of individuals accumulated in this small area. The situation worsened after the plague epidemics of the 14th century and the Hussite wars of the 15th century, when the number of burials reached a critical point. In the 16th century, a decision was made to free up space for new graves by exhuming old bones and storing them in the chapel's crypt. Thus, the first version of the ossuary was born, a simple bone repository where skulls and bones were stacked into pyramids. The ossuary took on its modern appearance in 1870 when Prince Schwarzenberg hired woodcarver František Rindt to artistically arrange the bones. Rindt created genuine works of art from human remains. The centerpiece became a massive chandelier incorporating every bone in the human body. It hangs from the ceiling in the center of the hall, surrounded by garlands of skulls. In the corners of the room stand enormous bell-shaped structures made of bones, and near the entrance lies the Schwarzenberg family coat of arms, also assembled from bone fragments. The number of remains used in the decoration is staggering. About 40,000 people found their final resting place here. Particularly striking are the pyramids of skulls neatly stacked in niches and the altars adorned with intricate bone patterns. Even Rindt's signature can be found on the ossuary wall, naturally also crafted from bones. Visitors to the ossuary describe strange sensations that arise inside. Many feel an inexplicable pressure as if they are being watched. Some claim to have seen shadows moving among the bone decorations or heard whispers when the room was empty. The ossuary is especially eerie on overcast days when the dim light from small windows faintly illuminates the sea of skulls. Scientists and skeptics explain these sensations through natural causes. The unusual setting, combined with the subconscious awareness that everything around is made of human remains, can evoke a strong emotional response. The play of light and shadow in a room with so many uneven surfaces can indeed create optical illusions. From an architectural and artistic standpoint, the Sedlec Ossuary is a unique monument. It is a meditation on the transience of life, executed in the best traditions of medieval memento mori. Every decorative element is deliberate and carries specific meaning. Even the arrangement of the bones is not random. It follows certain Christian symbolism, though it may seem sacrilegious at first glance. Today, the ossuary is a popular tourist attraction, drawing tens of thousands of visitors each year. For many, it becomes a place to reflect on the brevity of life and the all-conquering power of death. The Catholic Church still uses the chapel for services, emphasizing that these remains once belonged to believers now awaiting resurrection. The Sedlec Ossuary is unlike any other place in the world. It is a strange blend of sanctity and horror, art and death, history and modernity. It forces one to contemplate how different cultures perceive death and how humans attempt to make sense of their own mortality. In this small Czech town, death has ceased to be something frightening and has instead become material for creativity, a reminder that we are all but temporary guests in this world. A visit to the ossuary leaves an indelible impression. It is not merely a tourist attraction but a place of power where the fragility of human life is felt with particular intensity. The ossuary does not openly frighten, but its quiet message, assembled from tens of thousands of bones, penetrates deep into the mind. Memento mori, remember death, and perhaps it is this very realization that makes our lives more meaningful and precious. Analysis of mysterious places between science and the supernatural. Many anomalous phenomena associated with so-called cursed places may indeed have rational explanations, though they remain no less enigmatic. The Bermuda Triangle, for example, loses some of its mystical aura when considering the region's unique characteristics: frequent sudden storms, powerful Gulf Stream currents, methane gas eruptions from the ocean floor, and complex navigational conditions. Scientific studies confirm that magnetic anomalies in this area can indeed interfere with compasses. However, even the combination of these factors fails to explain all documented disappearances, particularly those where no wreckage or traces of disaster were ever found. The Valley of Death in Kamchatka is a classic example of a natural phenomenon, long shrouded in mystery. Modern science has proven that the deaths of animals and human discomfort are caused by volcanic gases accumulating in natural depressions. Hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide can indeed lead to rapid unconsciousness and death. Yet local legends about evil spirits predate scientific explanations, demonstrating how the human mind tends to mythologize what it cannot comprehend. Lake Roopkund, with its skeletal remains, presents an intriguing case of science intersecting with folklore. Genetic research revealed that the deceased belonged to different ethnic groups and died at different times. The theory of deadly hailstorms is supported by the distinctive fractures on the skulls, but it fails to explain why Mediterranean travelers ventured into these remote Himalayan heights. Here, science has partially unraveled the mystery while leaving room for historical puzzles. A completely different scenario unfolds in places like Hoia-Baciu forest or the island of the Dolls. In these cases, science detects no objective anomalies. Electromagnetic fields, radiation levels, and air composition all fall within normal ranges. Psychologists attribute reported phenomena to expectation bias and collective suggestion. When visitors know a place is reputed to be haunted, their minds become hyperreceptive to unusual sensations. The creaking of trees may be interpreted as whispers, play of light as shadowy movements, yet some phenomena remain beyond scientific explanation. In the Sedlec Ossuary, for instance, numerous visitors independently report similar experiences, feelings of pressure or an eerie presence, despite no measurable anomalies. Perhaps this stems from an undiscovered psychological mechanism triggered by symbols of death, or maybe human perception detects something instruments cannot. Cultural and religious factors heavily influence the reputation of cursed places. Across civilizations, similar concepts exist of thin places, locations where boundaries between worlds grow permeable. Such sites often correlate with tragedies, mass deaths, or ancient rituals. Media amplifies this effect, shrouding certain locations in mystique. After films or articles spotlight a haunted site, reports of paranormal activity typically surge, even when nothing physically changes. Interestingly, many anomalous zones coincide with unique geological features, tectonic faults, mineral deposits, or volcanic activity. Some researchers speculate these factors may affect human consciousness in ways not yet understood. Weak electromagnetic fields or infrasound, for instance, could induce anxiety or visual hallucinations. The psychological dimension cannot be overlooked. The human brain instinctively seeks patterns even where none exist. When accidents cluster in one location, minds readily construct causation from coincidence. This mechanism underpins countless superstitions and folk beliefs. Modern technology offers new investigative tools. Thermal cameras, EMF detectors, and gas analyzers capture what human senses miss. Yet each discovery breeds fresh questions. Perhaps the true nature of some cursed places lies at the intersection of undiscovered natural phenomena and peculiarities of human perception. Crucially, scientific demystification doesn't diminish these places' fascination. Understanding the real forces behind the Bermuda Triangle or Valley of Death makes them more astonishing. Nature proves far more complex than any myth. Ultimately, cursed places serve an important cultural function. They remind us that mysteries still abound, that the boundaries of knowledge pale against the vast unknown. As long as such places exist, humanity will keep seeking answers, balancing scientific inquiry with poetic wonder. The line between scientific and supernatural explanations often lies not in the phenomenon itself, but in our approach. Science demands reproducibility, verification, and logic. Mysticism embraces uniqueness, mystery, and transcendence. Some mysteries may require both perspectives for fuller understanding. Regardless, enigmatic places captivate us precisely because they defy conventional reality. They are blank spots on humanity's cognitive map, humbling reminders that our world is far stranger and more wonderful than we assume. In this lies their enduring value, both for science and the human spirit. Cursed places between fear and knowledge. Humanity has always been drawn to mysterious and frightening places. This strange allure of fear is deeply rooted in our psyche. Cursed territories captivate our imagination precisely because they challenge our rational understanding of the world. They retain a fragment of that primal terror our ancestors felt when faced with nature's inexplicable phenomena. But today, in the age of scientific progress, this fear has taken on a new dimension. It has become a challenge to our pursuit of knowledge. The appeal of such places lies in the paradoxical combination of fear and curiosity. On one hand, we are unsettled by the mere possibility of encountering something inexplicable that defies our familiar worldview. On the other, it is this very mystery that makes these places magnets for researchers and ordinary people alike. Deep down, many hope they might be the ones to unravel an ancient secret or witness something extraordinary. The study of anomalous zones offers humanity far more than just thrills. Each case tests the boundaries of our knowledge, presenting opportunities to discover new natural phenomena or psychological mechanisms. The history of science is replete with examples where the investigation of mystical phenomena led to significant breakthroughs. Research into electromagnetic anomalies in cursed locations expanded our understanding of magnetic fields' effects on living organisms. Studies of gas emissions in Kamchatka's Valley of Death contributed to volcanology. Even negative results from such research are valuable. They help separate genuine natural phenomena from imagination and cultural myths. Modern technology opens new horizons in exploring enigmatic sites. Genetic analysis can determine the origins of remains, as with Lake Roopkund. 3D scanning helps reconstruct ancient technologies like the transportation methods of Easter Island's Moai. Sensitive detectors capture subtle environmental changes that previously went unnoticed. Yet the true significance of these investigations may lie beyond pure science. Cursed places serve as mirrors reflecting human culture. They embody our fears, beliefs, and ways of making sense of the world. By examining how different peoples have explained unusual phenomena, we gain deeper insight into ourselves. Future research into these territories will likely adopt interdisciplinary approaches. Archaeologists, geologists, physicists, psychologists, and cultural scholars are beginning to collaborate, combining their methodologies. For instance, analyzing anomalous photos from Hoia-Baciu forest now involves not just image examination but also studies of atmospheric conditions, geomagnetic activity, and even the psychological state of photographers. It's crucial to understand that unraveling the secrets of cursed places doesn't diminish their allure. Quite the opposite. Scientific explanations often prove more astonishing than any myth. When we learn that the living dolls on a Mexican island result from plays of light and shadow, or that spirit whispers stem from a room's acoustic properties, these places don't become less fascinating. Instead, we begin to see them as intricate intersections of environmental factors and human perception. Future research will likely focus on the interplay between environment and human psychology. Emerging studies already explore how certain landscapes, geological formations, or electromagnetic fields may influence consciousness. Perhaps at the crossroads of neuroscience and geophysics, we'll find explanations for many paranormal experiences. Cursed places will endure as reminders of the world's mysteries, as challenges to our understanding, and as sources of inspiration. They teach us humility before nature, caution in drawing conclusions, and above all, the insatiable thirst for knowledge that defines humanity. Ultimately, it's this thirst, not fear, that drives scientists and explorers to the planet's strangest corners. And as long as it persists, humankind will continue solving mysteries through both scientific rigor and imaginative inquiry. These places, whether geological anomalies or cultural monuments, matter as meeting points for diverse ways of comprehending reality. They remind us that no impassable boundary exists between science and myth, knowledge and belief, the rational and the irrational. Thus, our attempts to understand them will always balance cold analysis with awe before the unknown.